Okay, this is Mr. Ridley's product design, and we're going to do a product disassembly here, and we're going to look at this low-cost music docking station. So if we look at this, we can see it's actually branded Bush, which is a fairly kind of budget make. It is a docking station with a radio. The first thing we look at it connects using an Apple connector there, so that the phone just sits in this recess here. It's got a black plastic injection molded case. It has some just push controls on here, so there's the power on and off, and a little LCD screen there. It has two speakers built into the side, and we'll look at that later. And if we look to the rear here of the injection molded case, we can see that there are two inputs there. One is labelled aux in, which is for the 3.5mm jack, which that means you can connect that to, if you've got something you want to connect that is perhaps a legacy device, doesn't have this Apple connector here, we can go in through there. And there's also DC 5V in, and that is for a power adapter here. The power adapter has a connection like that, which fits in there, allowing it to plug in from the mains. So there's the plug in from the mains. So it'll run on that 5V in, and also we've got an aux in there. We also have a small battery power in here, which I think is more for backup than actually powering it, and that's built in there. Okay, so if we look at the labelling here, I don't know if you can see that, and it says obviously the brand there. The two markings there which you should be aware of now are the CE mark, which means it conforms to all European specifications, and this mark, which is the WE, which is the waste electronic equipment. This basically means that this item shouldn't be put in landfill. This means that it fits all relevant safety legislation. So if we look at the case here, the two halves of the injection molded from high impact polystyrene. There you can see the join there, and the case is actually held together by 4 small self-tapping screws there, which are undone with a PZ screwdriver. I've already done that, and we can see that the case opens up here. So if we look inside the case here, there's the first thing that's apparent is there's the two speakers there. They're not huge speakers. There's actually been no effort made to give them any form of enclosure other than the box here, but there's no dividing line or anything like that. Okay, so that's the first thing. This aerial here, this lead here, by the way, is an aerial for the radio. It does have a radio. The radio and amplifier are all built onto a PCB. The PCB's just held in quite simply by a couple of screws and clamped in here. The speakers are held in by very small screws. If we might be able to take these out. So there's a set of small screws there that hold the speakers in. I'm just going to see if I can take this out. These come out here, and what we've got here, if you can see this, is that the speaker grills are a separate injection moulding that sits into this aperture here. It was held in by those two little screws there, and we can see there's a connector there. So the speaker is just hot. They've used hot glue there. You can see the hot glue, and pick that off, and that is used to just fit the speaker onto this aperture, onto this speaker grill. So there's the speaker grill. This has been just, I think, spray painted silver just to give a little bit of a quality look, and we've got holes there in this injection molded item there. So there's the speakers. If we look here, we can see there's a small board here with a couple more plug-ins there. Got a plug-in there, so on the bottom here you can see how this is been injection molded. Again, these form down to form feet, but there's no sort of rubber foot or anything on there. It's quite a low cost thing. You see they save quite a bit of money on that. If we take this out, there are two circuit boards here. Again, you can see these circuit boards are held in by small screws, which we could take out, and these screws are just self-tapping screws that fit into the but you can see that there is an effort made to locate the circuit board, and I think that's something you need to consider in your product, is how the circuit board in there. And if you can see quite cleverly here what they've done, pull off these connectors, you can see that the circuit board, it has all the amplification and radio chips on the back here. On the front it has the LCD screen. You can also see the little micro switches that are there on that. These just push through the case on a little diaphragm movement there. There's a little window in there, so a piece of acrylic just to seal that up. And really, I think that's about it. That's we're looking at our injection molded case, looking at a PCB mounted in, our speaker grills, and I think that's really it for that's our low cost docking station.